All righty. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. This is the fourth informational series that we've done so far. And today we're going to be focusing on the wine industry and hospitality, as well as our culinary arts program. Next slide.
I was thinking, am I supposed to go woo, woo, woo?
You can do that. You can do that.
Okay, cool.
Here's the flyer that we had out. So kind of give it a little quick overview again of the things that we've done so far. So this is our last one. It is May 3rd, but our plan is to do this again next spring for sure. And we might even be able to do a road show on request as well. But definitely that this was hopefully, this will be something every spring that we will be doing, highlighting our programs as they change and develop, because that's one of the great things about these programs is that we react to the demands of things that are going on, and we adjust to make sure that students become knowledgeable and career ready as they're going through. So today, on the next slide, we're going to talk about the apprenticeship program in general. We're going to then talk about the wine industry and hospitality, which is one of the apprenticeship programs, and it also offers employment concentration certificates in it. We will highlight our culinary program, which is one of our new programs. This was its inaugural year. And then, of course, we'll be talking about how to get started throughout, how to connect to programs and learn what next steps you need to do. So starting off, let's talk about apprenticeship, because a lot of people confuse apprenticeship with internship and other work experiences. So here's a little quick video from our partners at Launch.
Looking for education with flexibility that matches your lifestyle? A solution is right in your backyard. The Launch Apprenticeship Network, a regional initiative hosted by your local Inland Empire and Desert Community Colleges, is connecting students to careers in automotive, manufacturing, culinary arts, information technology, and cybersecurity. You see, apprenticeship is a form of employment that gives you the tools you need in the classroom, but places a heavy focus in on-the-job training. This allows employers to hire students during the early parts of their education because the training has been customized to fit their needs. Apprentices generally work full-time while taking a minimal amount of courses that fit around their career. Oh, and one last thing we thought you might want to hear. Apprentices within the Launch Initiative enjoy tuition-free college, making a debt-free education a reality. Whether you're ready to be the next great chef or manufacture items we use on a daily basis, check out the Launch Apprenticeship Network at launchapprenticeship.org.
Perfect. Good. We'll go on. So the apprenticeship program, now we are going to be talking about the apprenticeship program and as it relates to our viticulture, our wine industry program. This was from Launch. Launch is not our partner though for that wine industry program, but we'll talk about that in just a little bit when we get into more of the details of our wine apprenticeship program. So what differentiates internship and apprenticeship is that apprenticeship is specifically an earn and learn model where you're able to attend school, work towards a degree or certificate at MSJC while actually working out in the real world as an employee. Your classroom is complementary to your work out in the field. So you're getting a really enriched experience as you're going along. Internships can be paid or unpaid. They're usually shorter commitment. They're going to be less hours each week. So an apprenticeship is going to be a much more 1 to 2 year commitment. Again, full-time employee, which could be anywhere from 25 hours plus moving up while you're attending school. So some of the cool things about the apprenticeship program here at MSJC is that there is a fee waiver for any of the classes that are associated with the program or any other classes that might also be skill building classes that will help prepare you as you're going through. When you're on the job, you're paid on the job because you actually are an employee. There is a mentor support there at the place of employment, giving you advice and counseling support too, which is me here at MSJC. What's also nice is that sometimes when you go in and as starting off work, you might have a very limited set of tasks. The idea of apprenticeship program is to highlight, it could be as many as 100 different competencies that you're expected to maybe master within that position. And we truly try to strive to have you get at least 70, 80% of those competencies so that you're getting a wide range and not just getting stuck doing the same role over and over and over again without that experience. So that's just another one. And then the pay is then related to your skill level as you progress within the apprenticeship. Next next page, please. Okay, so let's talk about the wine industry and hospitality program here at MSJC. We'll go to the next page here. Now, this is a quick video from the California Community College. It is highlighting some grapes that from a region up north, but the information should be basically the same. But luckily, we have a couple of experts here with us today that after the video, you can let us know maybe what they got right or what they got wrong, and I'll introduce you at the very end of the video as well. So play away.
My name is Paul Wagner, and I'm an instructor for the Viticulture and Winery Technology program. The program here offers the kind of practical application that you can't really get anywhere else. We own our own vineyard. We have our own winery. So students not only come here to learn the theory behind things, they learn how to hook up a pump. They learn how to rack a barrel. They're pruning those grapes. They're picking those grapes. So we really give them not only the chance to learn this stuff, we give them the opportunity to do it at a level that makes them understand, I really love this part, I don't like that part. This is what I need to know before I move forward with my career.
The program offers everything from growing a grape to, to pouring a glass of wine. When I started with this program, I wanted to get into sales. I wanted to be behind the bar, pouring for people, educating people. In the future for me, I think I could really see myself being a winemaker.
It's really amazing. There are 4,000 wineries just in the state of California alone. So the things we teach them, the proficiencies they develop, these students are absolutely primed to take a position somewhere in the wine industry. The wonderful thing about community college, you can take individual classes. You can take exactly what you need. Now, if you want to get the full degree, we have requirements, you have to go through the process. But someone who is coming to a community college later in life, they may have a lot of that stuff already in place. So for that kind of students, community college is perfect. They drop in, they take exactly what they need, and they get the training. For the younger students, the real opportunity is you can live at home, you don't have the high costs of those other schools, and at the same time, you get a world-class education. We have people teaching in this program who have made absolutely spectacular wines for some of the most important wineries in the Napa Valley, and they're teaching these classes. So what you get out of here is every bit, and I would argue, better applied knowledge than you get at any four-year school.
Well, thank you, Ricky. Stop that video then, go on maybe to the next screen, but we'll keep it here. We won't talk about this screen because I would like to just pause for a second because we are lucky. We have Greg Pennyroyal, who is a faculty member here at MSJC. And I believe your title also at Wilson Creek are as Vineyard Manager, is that correct?
That's correct. Hello, everyone. Hi.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. I just wanted to ask you, looking at that video, is that pretty accurate? Painting of viticulture, enology, and things like that?
I think it's pretty accurate to what we aspire to be in about a year or two when we have the additional facilities. Currently, we have four core classes: viticulture, enology, hospitality, which is sort of an introduction to SOM, and vineyard business. Karen can actually address a little more specifically the more detailed program that we're proposing. But what's going to change this is we will actually have facilities at the college, and we are looking at converting the 79 acres that we have up in Wildomar into a regenerative agriculture program, of which we'll probably have about 10 to 15 acres of vineyard. So it'll not only be applied, there'll be some research going on up there. But the whole idea of it being very hands-on and very applied is very true. I can't think of a single apprentice that we've had that hasn't gotten a job immediately. And I would venture to say that probably 25–30% of the new hires in the Valley come through the apprenticeship program. So it's very applicable to real-world job skills.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Well, let me talk about a little bit of these, and then I'm going to introduce you, Karen, in just a little bit too. You can share any of the other developments and What's going on? Hold on one second. Getting a call on the Teams really for a second. But anyways, here, first off, let me talk a little bit about these. And then, like I said, we'll go into it. So the first one, if we go back really quickly, is the wine pre-apprenticeship. And this is just getting involved in the harvest. This is picking the grapes. This can be definitely a labor of love because it probably doesn't happen in normal hours, does it, Greg? Early morning?
No, it's usually from about 9 p.m. till dawn.
Perfect. Yeah, so it's at that time, but getting exposed to that. This part may be paid or unpaid, it all depends, but it's kind of that first chance of just getting involved with everything and getting involved in that harvest, which is so important.
Question, why are you starting at harvest? Instead of starting at pruning or fall or post-harvest? Because that's really when the year starts. The beginning of the wine cycle actually happens and it starts in November. And it terminates with harvest and final press.
And I probably our director could speak more to that. This was just how the pre-apprenticeship part was set up, but the apprenticeship part could start a little bit earlier if.
Okay.
Yeah. So in this, right now, the partnership here is with the Viticulture Enology Technician Apprenticeship Program, which is known as VTAP. And if anybody that was interested in this, I could definitely contact Tom, and Tom's information is down here at the bottom of the screen as we go through. But now let's get into more of the viticulture, enology, which is the wine technology part, the hospitality and everything on the next slide. So here are apprenticeship tracks right now. So the one is going to be the wine technology, that viticulture track. So that's really the working in the vines. And you can see where the horticulture classes are now infused with also the wine classes. So you can see the soil science, the horticulture science, laws and regulations, all in that viticulture track. The wine technology track, which is the enology, which is more of that goes into the making of the wine, but it's also in that marketing and sales part is in that as well. It includes all those traditional wine classes that we have. When you complete those first two, the wine 100 and 102 at this time, those are the courses that lead to the viticulture enology and wine technology employment concentration. The latter two, the 500 and the 501, the hospitality and business, is going to lead to the wine, hospitality, and salesmanship employment concentration for those two. So, and again, that's more of like the selling, branding, marketing, but also that operations management within a tasting room kind of a thing. Then let's go to the next screen. Actually, let's take a second here too. Actually, can we go back one more time? And you mentioned kind of the Karen. We have Karen here, who's our wine liaison. Would you maybe say a few things about the wine program too, Karen?
Well, we're still planning on expanding it. We did get the whole degree and certificate program approved through the regional consortium, but we are waiting. It's kind of been on hold for a couple years. So the same 4 courses have been offered, but the enrollment hasn't been as high as we'd like it to be. So we're still planning on expanding it. We're just sort of waiting for people to come back on campus because the majority of the people who teach the classes would like to teach them face-to-face. The preference is face-to-face versus online for wine tasting, as you can imagine, and viticulture too. So, it sort of just put a lot of things on hold, but we will be going gung-ho and getting the new classes through the curriculum committee. And then expanding it, like Greg said, with more facilities in the new Temecula campus, and then also the land.
Well, then kind of going back then to apprenticeship program too, and what kind of is entailed with that. So the part of this, like I said, it's the earn and learn, but we also want to make sure that apprenticeship students are actually prepared for work. So on the next slide, we're just going to quickly overview our apprenticeship students. When you join apprenticeship program, you also get enrolled in a Canvas course. So that's a Canvas community of fellow apprenticeship students where there are sequenced little assignments that you're doing along the way. So we are building a career profile for you that we then will use for your resume and for interview prep. And that's super helpful because it helps you answer that basic, like, tell me a little bit about yourself that you're going to be asked. And you can really answer that with confidence by the time you're ready to actually go for employment, because as an apprentice, you don't take your first class and go out and go out and work right away. We have a couple classes to kind of get your feet wet, get some skills under your belt, so that when we also look at your resume, we're really highlighting the knowledge that you're gaining within those classes. And we look directly at the learning objectives that are listed in the class and make sure those are highlighted on the resume. I just recently did a viticulture student's resume, and it was exciting to see all the things. She hadn't had any experience in wine yet, but looking at all the classes that she'd done, the competency she has were actually quite vast. And she was really excited then to see everything that she was learning in the class and how applicable it was then for employment as well. So we work on all that and get you all ready so that we're not just throwing you out there unprepared. You are fully prepared to start your apprenticeship program. Next one, please. And then when you're on the job with an apprentice, apprentices are paid employees. Like I said, there's a wide range of tasks that you get to accomplish, so that you're not going to be just stuck doing the same thing, let's say like picking a grape over and over and over again. You will be having proving your skill set as you go along and taking courses still at MSJC. You might start off with a few of the wine classes and then decide, oh my goodness, viticulture is so cool, let's take some of those horticulture classes and kind of pivot that direction. Or as we talk about culinary, you might also be interested in taking some of the culinary classes to complement your learning as well. Next slide. Okay, so Greg, I didn't warn you. I have a little video of you. Are you ready to watch yourself?
Go for it.
So I love this video. We found this online, and it's great because I think it really shows that when it comes to our wine classes and everything, it's science. It's not just swirling wine, swirling and swishing. Play the video. Do you want to say anything ahead of time, Greg?
I'll just mention that Megan that is one of the apprentices. There's an apprentice in this video, so it's very appropriate.
Perfect.
First got here, we were pretty much a conventional farm. We were disking, we were using glyphosate, pretty much standard chemical practices. The soil had less than 0.25% organic matter, and quite frankly, the health wasn't that good. My name is Greg Pennyroyal. I am the vineyard manager at Wilson Creek Winery and Vineyards. The first time I came into this vineyard and was trying to open up the soil, I rented a D8 with rippers, and the soil was so hard the back end of the bulldozer was lifting up off the ground. The first thing I did was add a lot of organic matter to the tune of 60 to 80,000 pounds of green matter that I then composted down to the equivalent of about 15 pounds of compost to the acre. But I noticed the whole system was kind of stalled, which is when I started interacting with John and we started developing a system through AEA. Last year, I got the same size ripper and put it on a 110 Kubota horse tractor, and I was able to drive through in second gear without the tractor really struggling that hard.
As we look at the soils here around Wilson Creek Vineyards, we see, especially in wintertime, we see water stay where they want it. It stays on the vineyard, it doesn't run off. Many of the more conventional vineyards in the valley here, we see lots of erosion and runoff with winter rain because of their leaving soil exposed, not keeping cover over it, and just following conventional practices, which leads to high tillage. And through that, you're losing soil, you're losing the potential for moisture that's needed in the ground for bud break and development of the vines early in the season. And it's just different here at Wilson because of the regenerative practices.
Regenerative agriculture tells you what should you be doing to regenerate the entire system. With regenerative health, we are taking a lead from the natural biological systems, and we are emulating those and increasing those so you have a self-contained system. So the plants are feeding the soil is feeding the plants, the microbiome is creating an overall naturally modulating system that corrects itself. We use a lot of foliar nutrients early in our program so we can feed the plant. The plant develops more photosynthesis, that creates excess sugars. The sugars go into the soil, the microbiology in the soil picks up, it naturally allows more nutrients to be available to the plant, and you get this cycle going. It's like having an engine. You got to prime the flywheel, and once the flywheel gets going, That's what we've established now. I see the evidence of that flywheel picking up. I see the plant starting to self-regulate. My pest problems are mostly going away, and I'm spending way more time now looking at maximizing the nutrition and the health of my vineyard versus constantly out looking for problems and putting fires out. This was a comprehensive system where we were not only looking at soil tests to see what our basic soil chemistry was, but we started doing bi-weekly sap analysis. And we take samples from different parts of the vine and we connect it with the different physiological developmental stage that the vine is at. Having this broad spectrum of all of the major compounds and elements that we need gives me real insight to what's going on. And quite frankly, it was a game changer. We saw week by week in each physiological phase of the grapes war where we had deficiencies and where we had excesses. I was surprised to find that a lot of my issues weren't actually deficiencies, they were excesses that were causing problems in the uptake of other things. So it's all about balance, and if you don't know where your excesses are or your deficiencies, you can't balance it. If you're like a lot of winemakers, you want to be on the cutting edge, on the bleeding edge. You want to have absolutely terroir expressing grapes that will create 92, 3, 4, 5-point wines. You just want to blow your clients away with great wines. There's really room for this to innovate. AEA is very adaptable, they're very open with their technology, and we do a lot of innovative research here. So if you're a winemaker that wants to just blow the doors off the current quality and do something that's really exciting, really unique, there's room to take that extra step. So those are sort of the two tiers. You can get into a mode where you're going to just do better and have stability and make good wine, or you can just go for it and just make great terroir-driven wines, which to me, that's what winemaking is about.
Well, I love that because it shows a little bit about what you had mentioned earlier, that regenerative viticulture and the plans that are being developed as we go forward. But here, I would love to invite Greg and Karen, if you have, is there anything else you want to share about maybe your background, if you want to share about the classes you teach, the stage is yours.
So on the regenerative part, there's actually sort of two programs happening at the college simultaneously. The wine program is very career developed, but a lot of the students, especially on the agricultural side, are very interested in the whole concept of regenerative ag. And that's where we're connecting the culinary program. That's where we're connecting some of the public health programs. The connection with regenerative ag sort of goes deep into a lot of areas. So the core of what's already set up and the core career path program is the viticulture enology program. But we're getting a lot of interest from the high school saying that they have students that want to understand the basic sciences behind regenerative ag. What's a little bit different about regenerative ag is it actually requires that you have fairly decent ecological and environmental literacy. And it's not just learning hands-on. You need some basic scientific education to be a good regenerative ag farmer. That being said, it is well within the realm of an associate's degree. Quite frankly, what actually even a lot of the researchers I work with, you could learn that in 2 years in community college with a couple of good basic microbiology and systems theory classes. The real education happens with the hands-on both regenerative ag and in the wine industry. I would venture to say probably half or more of the professionals we work with in the wine industry and in the regenerative ag industry are hands-on, some self-taught, some partially university taught. I think what we're doing is creating a very clear path and more of a structure. I often tell my students, who come with a degree, that you're going to have to spend the first part of the semester unlearning everything you just previously learned and then relearning it. So this time we're going to start at the correct spot and get them off in a good trajectory. Anything you want to add, Karen?
I muted myself. The children were being hyper. And they're still alive to tell the tale. Anyway, well, I got involved in this because I was interested in winery management. A friend of mine was managing some of the tasting rooms at the wineries, and I went to classes that the city of Temecula was offering, and that's where I met Greg, and then I met Gus, and I didn't know at the time that they worked as faculty at MSJC. So after that, we sort of created the partnership where I would do most of the writing of the courses because of the ins and outs of the curriculum committee. And so that's kind of what I do. I don't teach the wine courses, although I had plans to teach like a tasting class with the Myers-Briggs and personalities, like certain wines. So that's the kind of thing that I'd be interested if I were doing seminars and things. But I did go through the Wine Smarties class to know everything about what I should know and forgot already. But anyway, I thought it was really just a fantastic program. Temecula has, 46 wineries and we're going to 100. So a lot of the people that work in the tasting rooms don't really have much education. And a lot of the people that visit really want somebody who knows what's in the wine, where were the grapes grown, what was the environment like, and just all the science stuff of what was in this wine. And some of the tasting room employees they make it up. So they don't always have the best answers. And we're partnering with the high schools so that we, have that going on too. There's a lot of students in a lot of high schools that don't taste wine, but they like to grow grapes. But then there's this sip and spit rule. So, there's that too. So we can sip and swirl and then spit it out, I'm sure, and go from there. So I think it's a really great program. I'm really privileged to be a part of it, and I can't wait to see it grow.
I'll try to add a little bit to Karen's fine remarks. I'm delighted to hear that, and delighted to know about tasting room staff and so forth. Wine tasters tend to very often be tech dweebs that really would like to know as much technically about the wine as they possibly can, and it's an extraordinary hobby to be able to do that. I'd like to mention that the MSJC program is so incredibly progressive. Listening to Greg and watching the video is so enlightening, and I think that this is so far ahead of other things that are being done in Southern California. Very important. I'd like to mention also that the apprenticeship program entertains incumbent employees as well, so that people who are already employed within the business can make arrangements to take classes to increase their skills, whether they're tasting room staff or whether they're working in process or in the fields. So there is a lot happening in this growing program, and we expect it to expand further in the future along with MSJC's program. I'll also mention that there is at least one commercial vineyard in place at the high school level at Palo Verde USD, and Hemet USD intends putting a high school working vineyard in place. And I think all those things will come hand in glove with our field developments as well. So I foresee substantial support for the growing Temecula Valley wine country from the K-12 level up through community college. And I applaud everything that you and Greg are doing to make this work. Apprenticeship program working in parallel with that. We aim to put people in the field. And I should say, it's often the case and I'll shut up in a second, Megan, but it's often the case in apprenticeship, we say, well, we need to get the people out of the classroom and into hands-on work. But Greg makes such an important point that there are important scientific and technical things that need to be learned and are best grasped in the high school. You can't be out pruning and expect to learn all that you need to know about the environmental effects that are critically important. So that's it. Thank you, Megan, for giving me a minute.
Yeah, Tom, I just wanted to add actually the Hemet High School has the vineyard in place. And on Thursday,
Yes.
I'm going to the Temecula Valley High School. They're looking at putting a small vineyard and olive orchard
Splendid.
in the back of there. So this is a trend that's going on. And yes, I would agree. It's very hard to explain the Krebs cycle when you're out pruning.
Right. It certainly is. Very fine.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate all that you've shared, and I'm very excited. Being a wine lover myself, and taken many wine classes at community colleges over the years, I find all of this wonderful, and I hope to continue to learn as this program develops too. So next we're going to pivot, but it's not too much of a. Oh, actually, no. Before we pivot. Let's talk about how you get started. If somebody wanted to get started in the program, what would they need to do? Here we have beautiful Wilson Creek, a picture of Wilson Creek here, where our faculty members are also privileged to work as well. We have, all you would need to do is apply to MSJC. And if you're interested in the apprenticeship program, you can then email me and I will connect you. And I often do this sometimes when I'm presenting. I fail to actually introduce myself at the very beginning. And once again, I did that. My name is Megan Baskell. I am an apprenticeship counselor, and I'm also a counselor within the business, technology, and entrepreneurship pathway. And I will just take a moment too to introduce my fellow counselor, April. April Ward was also in the business and technology and entrepreneurship pathway. I'm going to say what else you do.
Yes, I'm also, hello everyone. I'm also the 2+2 business pathway counselor coordinator and 2+2 software engineering counselor coordinator, which is a partnership that we have with Cal State San Marcos in Temecula.
Thank you. And then we also, let me introduce Ricky as well. Ricky Toth, you want to say hi?
Hi, everyone. My name is Ricky Toth. I am one of the administrative associates in the Department of Career Education here at MSJC, and I'm also the administrative support for our apprenticeship program throughout the district.
And you actually,
Megan, let me hastily add that Ricky can be reached at apprenticeship@msjc.edu, which is a lot easier to remember than any of our names, unless somebody's been busy scribbling.
or taking a photo.
Yes, that of course.
Yes, and that's what made me think about it, that I realized I did not introduce
Thanks,
anyone
Ricky.
because I would have normally thrown it to Ricky here, and I thought no one knows who Ricky is yet. So yes, Ricky and I can help you get started. So apprenticeship@msjc.edu, and you would hear from both Ricky and I. We get you just going through the next steps, figuring out what you would need to do. And Tom, would you like to take just a moment to introduce yourself too?
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Yeah, I'm the apprenticeship director. We started apprenticeship programs a couple of years ago, beginning with an automotive mechanics program, and it's grown steadily each term. We're delighted with this viticulture program. The VTAP is the current sponsor of that. Launch Apprenticeship Network sponsors all our other programs, and I think that we may have some interesting new developments over the course of the next few months, which are going to broaden our scope substantially. So we're just so pleased to see the viticulture program extending technically as it is right now. It's going to be great.
Thank you. So now comes the pivot to our culinary arts program, but of course these do go hand in hand. That's why we picked both of them for today. But I'll let April, you can take it away.
All right. So our culinary arts program is another exciting new program that we have here at MSJC. And we have lab and lecture courses at our Temecula campus, as well as an update is that we have our kitchens being remodeled this summer. So we're gonna have some state-of-the-art equipment for our students. And so we have a certificate, and we are working on an associate degree as well for culinary arts. So it looks like we have a video to show first. If Ricky, do you want to get that started?
My name is Brian Knirk. I am Department Chair for Culinary Arts and Hospitality Management. Community college students graduate with opportunities at every level of restaurant management and culinary. Most of them, if they choose to go into culinary, are going to become line cooks in restaurants. It's an entry-level position, to be honest. But what a community college education does is it gives them the opportunity to fast track, to get to that next level, that management, that sous chef, faster than if they were to try and work themselves through the ranks.
A lot of my friends want to go on to be executive chefs at high-end restaurants. Some of them just want to get out in the culinary field and see how far they can go, working in kitchens or, fine dining. I am aspiring to be a personal chef, where I go to families or I cater events that, customers will call to ask me to specifically be a chef for.
The classes that you would take at a community college in order to become a chef or a line cook are going to range from very basic introductory cooking, how to hold a knife, how to grill, how to roast, how to saute, to introductory baking and pastry, and more advanced classes as you're making pastas and making your stocks and learning how to cook for a restaurant. Additionally, they're going to learn the management side because this is a business. They're going to learn some marketing. They're going to learn purchasing and other aspects of actual running a business.
This program is so great. They teach you from beginning to end. You don't really have to come in here and know how to slice and know how to cook. You don't even necessarily have to know how to boil water. The only thing I think you need is a desire to learn.
What's very important for graduates who go into this industry is having a good attitude. And if you put the effort in with a good attitude and some basic knife skills, you can be successful.
I knew I loved to cook, but I didn't know I really enjoyed it that much. I didn't know it could be so fun. I come here every day and I'm almost upset when it's time to go home. Seriously, I love to be here. I wouldn't change it for the world.
So as I was saying before the video, we do currently have a certificate for culinary arts. And this here is a list of the classes that you would take to earn the certificate. The sanitation, pretty much what was covered in the video. You're gonna learn all facets of culinary arts, starting with the sanitation, the food and beverage, labor, cost control. Then you're going into the history as well as baking and pastry, how to the hospitality management part, and then of course the art of, and I'm told this is pronounced garde-manger. And I can tell you a little bit about what that class is, because that was a little foreign to me. It provides students with the skills and knowledge of the organization, equipment, and responsibilities of the cold kitchen. So students are introduced to and prepare cold hors d'oeuvres, appetizers, sandwiches, salads, smoking, curing, as well as basic charcuterie items. Why does this program go so well with the wineries? Because most every one of the wineries, as you know, also has a restaurant, which also needs a chef. So as far as the garde-manger, it also introduces students to the reception foods and buffet arrangements. And there is a written and practical exam with this as well. So as you can see, our students are going to be well prepared to enter their careers as a chef with this certificate. We'll move on here. So this is a program map. We showed you the list of classes for the certificate, but this breaks it down a little bit for students to show that which classes you can take each semester. So if you plan it out with a fall and spring, and then another fall and spring within 2 years, taking 2 classes per semester, you can earn your certificate, which would be a total of 24 units of classes. And how do you get started? You can apply to Mount San Jacinto College at www.msjc.edu. And you can email me for more information at awardwell@msjc.edu. And now we have time for questions. Ricky, did you want to add anything about our culinary program that I may have missed?
Nothing new, April. You covered a lot of it. It's a new program, was mentioned. It's exciting. So it's kind of cool to be a part of something that's in the beginning phases where you can grow and learn together.
Yes. Yeah. Excellent. Thank you.
One thing I would just love to add, because I'm always interested in mashing up different things, and I love that last picture that showed the camera. And as we even see, there's so much food photography, food blogs, all that is of course huge right now. We also even have our digital media program as well, our creative arts programs. So you can even see that taking classes in this program and some of the other classes together could really begin to complement each other. There's even new live streaming class that's coming up soon that's going to be offered next year. So you can see where you can really get creative. Because there's lots of a desire to be an entrepreneur, do your own thing. There's more opportunities than ever, and MSJC really offers that opportunity to kind of go and follow the certificate programs, but also then build skills in other areas too. Any questions from anybody?
This is Greg. Just a comment actually. So on the kitchen side, I know we're always looking for people. So there's a huge need for that. I assume that you have connected with Leah DiBernardo at EAT, who is probably the educational leader in the culinary region of this area, Temecula. So she's definitely someone you need to be having a conversation with. The other comment is, I'm not sure who's doing the curriculum, but I would love to see a class for culinary students that connects where does your food come from, and looking at nutritional density, flavor profile, and the human physiology changes with nutrient density. I think that's something that chefs are interested in and clients are interested in, and sort of connect the two programs.
I think those are great recommendations. I agree. Is connecting with EAT, and of course, as everyone now is probably familiar with the term farm to table, and really incorporating that is really key. And of course, EAT is great with doing that, and with local growers. Well, please, we'll drop our emails within the chat. If you have any questions at any time, please feel free to reach out. Share this with others. We have collected all of these recordings, and we will then be sharing them out as well so that you can see it. If you know other people who are interested in these programs, these will be a great opportunity to kind of get a little overview. This will be something that we will be focusing on every spring going forward to highlight our programs, the new developments, because as I said in the very beginning, things are rapidly changing. And we saw that here just as we're talking too, that there's so much in development, so many great ideas, so many exciting things happening. So we'll continue to bring that to you and share it as we go forward. But with that, thank you everyone for joining us today. It's always so much better than just having April and I talk, but to have everybody share and their expertise and all the exciting things that are happening. So thank you so much, and thank you for everybody just who came to listen.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
Megan, it looks like we have a question in the actual chat from Tristan.
Oh yeah. Oh, so could you be going to high school and still take the culinary arts apprenticeship classes at the college? If so, how would that work? Tom, are you able to answer that a little bit more with high school? We have done that with the automotive program.
Yeah, that's certainly the case. I'm not sure if this is a case where the high school classes are sufficiently similar to what Greg's group would present so that it could be articulated. If it were, that's typically the way the automotive apprenticeship works. But I believe that there are opportunities for dual enrollment if there is not apprenticeship articulation. There are opportunities for dual enrollment on a class by class basis that could be looked into, and Ricky and I will be pleased to pick that up if we get an inquiry at apprenticeship@msjc.edu.
And Tristan, if you could also possibly in the chat, just directly to me, if you can drop your contact information. We have a director of K through 12 partnerships that may be able to provide some more information to you as well.
Who actually happens to be here. You want to say hi really quickly?
Sorry, Jenny, didn't mean to throw you out there.
Oh, she may be away for a second at the very.
Hey,
Or Cameron, sorry, because
I'm here. I did not hear the question though.
I just were saying that you were here. There was a question from high school, so.
I will throw my email into the chat, and then if you just want to email your question, I'm happy to work with you.
Great. So Tristan's got lots of resources to work with.
Which is wonderful, and that just shows you that with all of this, we work as a team. So you've got counselors, instructional faculty, industry experts, K through 12 experts, you're all taken care of.
You see anything else, Ricky?
No, looks like we got everything.
Great.